Hi everybody, welcome to the South Australian Sports Show. I hope you can stay with us for the next hour. Cage, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Smiley. Looking forward to the show, big show.
Well, I'm glad you're up and about. You've been a little bit flat, mate, during the week.
I've been more than a bit flat. I've been devastated. Absolutely.
What happened?
We got beat.
The Crows went down. We don't even want to talk about that at the start of the show, so let's get over to Rachel and find out what's happening in sporting news in South Australia. Rachel?
Thanks, guys. We fly as one, and well, we cry as one too. After a nail-biting start to the 2017 AFL Grand Final, you could feel the moment our hearts shattered for the Crows across the state. The boys just couldn't seem to keep up with the Hungry Tigers, who never gave up until the last siren sounded, and Richmond won by 48 points. For now, it's time to get Mad Monday celebrations out of the way so the boys can regroup and focus on next year. The Southern Football League is down to just single digits for its next footy season. Marion's officials unanimously voted for the club to join the Adelaide Football League after being fed up of being belted by 100 points each week. They'll become the fifth club to make the move after Edwardstown, Brighton, Morphettville Park and O'Sullivan Beach all decided to join over the past 2 years. SFL President Craig Warman says they are happy with having 9 teams in a bye next season, with a strong focus on its junior teams. Marion are looking forward to a fresh start and are hoping to be a part of the winner's circle after a shocking few years. Exciting news for South Aussies who love their motorsports. Tailem Bend will become the new home for a brand new racetrack in 2018, with the Bend Motorsport Park confirmed to go ahead. It's already locked into the calendar for August next year, with racegoers using the international circuit variant of the $110 million facility. And just to get your heads dizzy after the weekend's antics, there will be 18 turns and a total of 4.9-kilometre lap lengths. There's hope the new race park will become an iconic world-class venue for major events, gaining its Category 2 FIA certification. This means the park will be able to host any four-wheel racing event, apart from Formula One. If you citygoers think Talem's a little far for a one-day drive, you'll be able to book into the 100-room hotel on Pitt Lane, or take the caravan and set up camp overnight. What does 100 grand buy you? Well, for Modbury Jets, they're hoping for Adelaide United women's teams to play their home games at the Ridgehaven base. The club has pitched the idea to the Fund My Neighbourhood grant pool, asking for $100,000 to build a grandstand to hold over 200 spectators. They recently improved their grounds, spending $1 million on a new synthetic pitch and renovating the club rooms. Modbury are hoping to draw larger crowds and work hard to get it all up and running for the start of next season. A bout of food poisoning hasn't stopped SA gymnast Chris Remke's being ready for the World Championships in Canada. Chris will hit Montreal's Olympic Stadium this week, hoping to set himself up for the Commonwealth Games medal bid. He'll compete before a global TV audience of more than 600 million, just 1 month from having food poisoning. The 47-kilo athlete will compete in floor, pommel horse and the vault at his second World Premiership. He was adopted at age 2 and grew up in the southern suburbs of Adelaide, Morphett Vale and Happy Valley, so will definitely have bragging rights when he brings home the gold. Tegan Napa might be tiny, but don't let that fool you. The pocket rocket weightlifter has snagged a gold medal at the Oceania World Championships, hoping it will propel her to do the same at next year's Gold Coast Commonwealth Games. Tipping the scales at a tiny 47 kilos, Napa came so close to a bronze medal in Glasgow, but was 2 kilos shy in the snatch and 5 kilos off in the clean and jerk. She lifted a combined 158 kilos at Oceania to bring home the gold to Australia. So what's next for the 30-year-old? She'll travel to Homebush in New South Wales to compete in the final Gold Coast Games trial. If you're stuck for something to do this weekend, look no further. Roller derby teams from around the country are going head-to-head in Adelaide, with 4 teams vying for top spot. It'll all kick off from Saturday at 10:30 at Adelaide's training venue next to the McQueen's Tavern in Angle Park. Get down to watch the women get physical and be a part of one of the toughest games in sport. Head to Adelaide Roller Derby for more info. And that's you up to date with all things sport in Adelaide. Back to you, boys.
Terrific, Rachel. Thank you for that. Well, Cage, we have got a pretty jam-packed show, I don't mind telling you. Tyson Edwards is going to come in, of course, former superstar with the Adelaide Footy Club.
West Adelaide.
And West Adelaide. He'll have a little bit to say about that 48-point loss of the Crows.
God.
Joey Wright from the Adelaide 36ers is in. The NBL starts this week. They're in amongst it. Melbourne and Sydney, their first couple of games. Terry McAuliffe is in, the #1 horse race caller.
The mare Winks.
Winks, you love that horse Winks, don't you? No doubt about it. Riley Cox is back from the University Games and, of course, ran in the City to Bay 10,000 metre runner. He's going to join us. Sophie Devine and Alex Price come in. A couple of ladies from the Scorpions, Cage. So plenty of sport to get through in the next hour. Hope you can stay with us. Well, Cage, some of us are built for different things, cricket and basketball. Some are born to run, Cage. Our next guest, Riley Cox, was with us about 6 weeks ago, or less than that actually, before he took off to the World University Games. Been back about a month and has recovered and come in to have a chat with us. Riley, how are you?
Firstly, thanks for getting me back on. It's a honour to be back on the show.
No, mate, it's great to have you back. So let's talk about the University Games in Taipei. They say there was probably about 10,000 athletes there all up. It's not far off the Olympic Games setup. They had the village, everything pretty similar. So let's talk a little bit about village life for you. How did you enjoy the experience of living in the village?
So the whole experience of the Games was a real eye-opener. People on the team who had been to the Olympics said it was very similar. So in that sense, it was really good to get the experience, a brand new village, just the way the people in Taipei treated us, a bit like movie stars. So yeah, we were always asking for pictures and that when we got off the bus, and so yeah, it was a really cool experience.
What about security? What was that like? How tight was that, Riley?
Yeah, so every time you went to exit or enter the village, you went through like scanners and all that. So it was really full on, and they took it really seriously. So you felt safe while you were there, which was good.
Fantastic.
All right, let's talk about your race, mate. 10,000 metre. Now, a couple of things that the viewers need to know. We're in Taipei. So the night before the race, it rains. So that brings the humidity right up. There's enough heat anyway. So it was 34 degrees.
You're kidding me.
100% humidity, and we're going to run 10,000 metres. Cage?
Yeah.
Have I summed it up pretty well?
Yeah. That's
would it be the most extreme conditions that you reckon you've ever run a race in?
Oh, easily. Yeah. So it's certainly not conducive to fast times over 10,000 metres. So yeah, we did some heat training before we left, coming out of winter here. A lot of time spent in the sauna, that sort of thing, and then a few like we wore ice vests between our warm up and the race just to try and get the core temperature down. And a few other little tricks to sort of try and beat the heat and get that little edge on our opponents. But still easily the hardest race of my life.
Very difficult to run 10,000 metres in a sauna, Cage. So
very difficult, Scotty.
Basically what it was like. Yeah.
How did you go?
So I was 8th overall in the end.
Were you happy with that?
Yeah, I was stoked with the position. That's all we could go off given the conditions. I was ranked 12th heading into the race, so to come 8th was I was really proud of that.
Any runners didn't finish?
Plenty, yeah. So 7 out of the 21 starters, 7 didn't finish. I think that just shows how tough it was. And they're all fit guys, so I think it just showed.
What made you pick the 10,000 metres, right? That's a tough event.
Yeah, so like you said, we're all made for different disciplines, but so I think I just generally find that my physiology and that it heads more towards the longer distance, being light and that
no chance for you or me, Coach. Hey, quickly, mate. Then you came back. You're only back a few weeks, and then you ran in the City to Bay.
Yeah,
and finished second in the City to Bay.
Yeah. So that was I was really happy with that result. Being from SA, I really want. It's our biggest, one of our biggest fun run, and for the elite runners at the front, there's a good amount of cash involved for running standards. So yeah, it was really good to finish second overall and first South Australian. So
mate, to go from 10,000 metres to 12 kilometres is a fair jump. How'd you handle the distance?
Well, firstly, the conditions were much nicer back there. You're not on the track, obviously, so I find that mentally, 25 laps of the track is a testing. It's
different stimulation.
So I actually found the longer distance to be easier. Yeah, so with the conditions and the fact that you're out on the road and a few more distractions.
So what's next for you, Riley?
So at this stage, we get back into training and try and get some consistency, and I'll be racing the Australian 10,000 metre championships, which doubles as the Com Games selection trials.
Oh, that's a big event.
Yeah, so I'm sure everyone will be in top shape for that in December. So.
Mate, how do you think you're tracking? Are you happy with your form? What's happening at the moment?
Yeah, so I mean, the City Bay result shows that I'm heading in the right direction. Being realistic, I still got a bit of work to do before I'm a contender for a Com Game selection, giving the...
You never know though, right?
Yeah, so we're just going to keep training hard and wait for it to click. Yeah.
So, mate, you know the City to Bay is called a fun run, right? Coach,
yeah.
you ran it in 35.50.
Yeah, fun.
So the bloke that won it 35.40, I'm struggling to see the fun in it, but obviously he enjoys the
What
fun.
were you and I running, you reckon, Smiley?
Oh, a couple of days. In saying that, can you look at the time that you did the City to Bay in? So obviously your base is really good at the moment. Can that time give you an indicator of where you think you're at for your 10,000 metre training?
Yeah, definitely. So the course is obviously pretty quick in the City to Bay, being no turns and just straight. It's even a slight downhill from the City to the Bay. So yeah, the time there I would need to knock off still a bit of time. But given I was so close to Brett, who won it, he's represented Australia and made Olympic finals. So really gave me good confidence booster to know that I'm around the place.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, well, Riley, appreciate you coming in, mate. We'll stay in touch with you. We'll get you back before December and you qualify for the Com Games. Riley Cox was our special guest. Stay with us.